After 30 years, one of my favorite bands from the 80s is back with a new album. Let's talk about it. Hi, welcome back to Classic Guitar Rock. I'm Jeremy. Take a minute and click that subscribe button. You guys know I'm a huge Graham Bonnet fan. He's one of my favorite singers of all time. I think the Alcatrazz albums of the 80s, the first two, the first with Yngwie and then the second with Steve Vai, are both terribly underrated. I think they were both kind of seminal albums in terms of the sound, the guitar playing, the singing. They were just great albums. Well, Alcatrazz has a new album out. After 30 years, Graham Bonnet has reunited with original Alcatrazz members Jimmy Waldo and Gary Shea, and the new album is called Born Innocent. Graham has been playing in various incarnations, since then, really. I mean, he's spent time with Impellitteri. He had a project with Bob Kulick called Blackthorn. He's kind of hopped around to different projects and solo things. He's been doing the Graham Bonnet Band for the last several years, doing a lot of Alcatrazz material. But this is the first Alcatrazz album. It's not Alcatrazz featuring Graham Bonnet or Graham Bonnet's Alcatrazz. They've played live under that name. This is Alcatrazz. So it's got 3 of the original founding members, and then includes Joe Stump on guitars and Mark Buencachia on drums. So what do I think about this album? Well, first, I was very excited to see a new album from Graham and from Alcatrazz. I wanted to really like it. And when I say that, I don't want you to think, oh, it must be a crappy album. It's not crappy. It's not a bad album at all. It's got some great songs on it, great guitar playing, some guest appearances. Chris Impellitteri plays on the title track. Who else do we have there? Bob Kulick, before he passed away, contributed to a song on the album. Steve Vai, I'm not sure he plays on it, but it looks like he helped write a song on it. But musically, the guitar playing is great. I'm a Joe Stump fan. I think he does a great job. And musically, all the bases are covered. You can tell listening to this album that this is a bunch of great musicians. Here are my 2 major beefs with the album. And guys, maybe it's my age showing. The drumming, obviously this guy's a great drummer. No doubt about it. He's super tight. I am just not a fan of the, machine double bass drum sound. I like some air. I like some space. I like some groove. And there's none of that in the drumming department to my mind. It's just it's like, let's fill every measure with as much drum sound as I can. And again, the guy's obviously a great drummer, but it got tedious after a few songs of this overpowering double bass drum playing. So that was kind of irritating. It's not on every song, but enough of them to where it was getting annoying for me. I like grooves, man. I like John Bonham. I like those drummers that have a groove, not just, hey, look how fast I can play. Look at how that kind of irritated me more than anything on this album. The other thing, again, I don't want to say it sounds bad. Graham is known for just having this super powerful voice and just belting it out. And I think the difference I hear on this album versus the earlier Alcatrazz albums is, and guys, Graham's in his 70s. So, I mean, let's cut the guy some slack. He sounds good, but you could tell he's forcing it. I mean, he's really at the edge of his range. I don't know how he'll be able to sing most of these songs live, to be honest. I mean, Graham is one of those players that you hear him one night and he is phenomenal, and you hear him another night and he's having problems because he records songs like this, right? That are just blowtorch songs at the top of his range. And you can tell even in the recording that he's really stretching on these songs. And to be honest, I think that sounds kind of cool, but it doesn't sound as easy and flawless as it did on the first albums. You know, you could tell it's more of a reach. And again, bless the guy's heart, he's in his 70s and he's still awesome. So those two things, the drumming and Graham's vocals are, I mean, he's really at the top of his range. Not that it sounds bad, but I notice that when I hear this album. Another thing, and this is a thing that is both a blessing and a curse of Graham Bonnet. He has written some of the coolest songs, man. Songs like Bigfoot and Kreenakuri and Skyfire and Star Car Lane. I mean, he writes songs like no other band I can think of, right? And then he's also written just terrible lyrics like Dancer from the Michael Schenker Group. Just stupidest lyrics ever. I admit, or I admire his fearlessness to write songs, you know, to just take a topic and write a song about. This song Polar Bear, actually, the first time I heard it, I thought, well, that's kind of odd. But the more I listen, I really like it. I mean, it's a song about an old Eskimo who's about to die. And the polar, I mean, you got to listen to it. It's a story. It's a great song. That to me is an example of Graham's great songwriting, where he takes a topic that no one else would ever think to write about and he writes a song about it. That one works. Other songs on this album are dumb. I Am the King, just a dumb song. I mean it's a song about sex, you know, and it just seems kind of stupid and sophomorish, you know, just kind of dumb. But there's some great songs on here. London 1666 is a good song. Finn McCool is a great song. Paper Flags is a great song. There's a lot there to like, but also some things that you're kind of like, oh, I don't know about that. So again, being a huge Graham Bonnet fan, would I recommend you give the album a spin? Absolutely. Is it as good as the first two Alcatrazz albums? No. It's better than the third Alcatrazz album, but not as good as the first two. If I were giving it a letter grade, I would probably give it a B minus, maybe a B. Not a bad album, not a great album. I'm just excited to see new material from Graham Bonnet and from Alcatrazz. So I'd be interested to hear what you think. Leave your comments and take a minute and click that notification bell. And thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next Classic Guitar Rock. Bye-bye.